Blast me to Bermuda! It's time for the Mad Merlins unboxing of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Delivery 21. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mad Merlins unboxing. So today we have Delivery 21 of Imperium. So this is issues 79, 80, 81 and 82. So the first two of our extension. I have also just received my Stormbringer subscription, so I will be probably filming the video for tomorrow's issue this afternoon, and I might post it up ready for tomorrow. And then I will be posting issue 6 next week, when issue 6 is supposed to be out in the shops. After then, it will get a little bit distant between issues until my next delivery turns up. But don't worry, I still have plenty of Imperium videos left to film. I've filmed and posted 75 part 1, filmed 76 part 1, so I can build the ATV. I am getting on with painting the command barge that I have built for issues 77 and 78. So I can straight up film those two issues, including overview of the frame and the gallery of the completed model. And then all it is just filming battle reports over the next few weeks. And we also have, of course, the brand new Imperium. So before we get into anything, don't forget to, of course, give this video a quick little like. And why not also drop a comment down below? It helps get the channel noticed and helps keep everyone in contact and up to date with what we're doing in our hobby. Of course, don't forget to also subscribe to the channel, as it's the only way you can keep up to date with all my mad content. So let's dive into this delivery and we'll have a look at what awesome issues are on the way. So here we have the big bad boy, or good boy, of the collection. It is, of course, Bobby G, Robute Gilliman, and he comes over 2 issues. So issue 79 is the first part, and issue 80 is his base and final components. Then we have issue 81, so this is our first of 3 Paragon Warsuits. I've already got 3 bonus issues of issue 81, and I've got 3 82s on the way, as I plan to add 3 of each different gun equipment to my personal Sisters of Battle collection. So the ones I'm getting for the magazine, I will be painting and building as the magazine says. But for my own personal collection, I do have enough to make 3 squads of 3. But yeah, there's the second one, much the same, but this one has the alternate unique arm for the superior. But by the looks of the cover, we're going to be building her up as a power maul and heavy bolter, because I think that's what each one is. They're building up one of each different weapon. So we've got a multi-melter first, heavy bolter, power sword on the 81, power maul here, and I think if you flip over, yeah, we got the sword and the heavy flamer on the superior, plus the storm bolters. And yeah, storm bolters on 81, and this one has missiles. And while we're here, we can look at the next issue. The not so impressive Skitarii Marshal is coming. So yeah. Right then, let's open each issue individually and take a look in the content quickly. Before we do though, we do have this letter. So this is just a quick letter saying, congratulations, we are extending the collection for an extra 10 issues. And over those 10 issues, we get the Dreadnought, the 3 Paragon Warsuits, an Inquisitor, Kyrio Draxus, Skitarii Marshal, Hexmark Destroyer, and a nice big character for the Necrons in Illuminor Xaris. And we can see displayed there on the reverse side of the mat from issue 1, I believe. I think mine's just off to the side. Hang on. Yes. Flip it around that way. Yeah. So we're going to be using, I believe, this in one of the games I've seen in somebody else's reviews. So pretty cool. Right then. So yeah, this just covers that you have received these issues. If you do not wish to continue the subscription, do not open 8182. Contact the customer services and they will give you information on returning those. But otherwise, you will continue for another 2 months deliveries. And if you ask premium, you will be dropped automatically down to standard price of $8.99 and not $10.99. So there we have it. Right then, I'll just adjust the camera and then we can start opening the issues. Right then, let's start with issue 79. So this is the first half of Rabute Guilliman, and as you can see on the frame we got his legs, his arms, sword, shoulder pads, part of the base detailing. That's pretty much it. You can't build a lot out of this one frame, so you will need, of course, 80 as well. And let's just take a quick flick through issue 79. There's quite a bit of information in this one. So we got the battle record for Rabute Guilliman. So we can't actually name him, but we can write down a couple of achievements for the sword and the armor of fate during the battles he takes part in. We got background on Rabute Guilliman. We got phase 2 of the Obelisk and Lyrak battle, which started in issue, I think it was either 78 or 77, one of the two. We got another data sheet for the Rogue Trader, so there's a price of vengeance detailing getting some revenge, I'm guessing. What's the name of the title? And it's a pretty lengthy couple of pages, so pretty cool. We're expanding more and more on that. And yeah, case sealed, so obviously this is the last part for it. That's a little better. And then we're into our build guide. So it does tell you to build a couple of sub-assemblies. Here his backpack, the base, and obviously putting blue tack to stop your contact points getting covered with paint. Leaving his heads separate as well, which makes it a lot easier for painting. But yeah, we build him up. Building up his torso, it looks quite fiddly. Then we got each of the legs, which we sandwich 2 parts of armor between the inner working leg joints. And we got his left arm and then his backpack and right arm for the power sword, or the Emperor's sword, should I say. And yeah, just build them up, take your time. Leaving it in the sub-assemblies will make it a lot easier for painting, at least. So I might be doing that myself, haven't decided yet. And yeah, so we leave it sub-assembly 1, his entire torso. Sub-assembly 3 is his backpack. Sub-assembly 4 is either the heads, whichever one you choose to use. And finally, sub-assembly 2 is his base. Then we've got our game, so assaulting the gate. So Rabute Guilliman's plans are coming into fruition for this final push. So we got all of the different forces in play. Quite a bit of information to go through on this particular mission, so that's going to be worth a good read. And yeah, big battle coming up. Player A, which I'm guessing will be the Necrons, and player B here. And then we got a continuing adventure, so the Noctilith Pylon, the War for Ramesses is not over. So we'll be taking an early look at that. And then next 2 issues is going to be part 2 of Guilliman and our first warsuit. So, part 2. So we have ourselves a 80mm, I believe, round base. And the remaining parts. So we got the Harsby's head. So you've either got the bear head or the helmeted head, whichever you choose. All his backpack detailings. And the majority of his body there. So this is going to be a very intricate model, and I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to actually paint him. Alright, this issue is going to be pretty quick because we have just 3 articles. First off, though, is a really in-depth paint guide for Rabute Gilliman. It does recommend doing it blue, but if you want to, you could easily do a gold base coat and then pick out the recessed armor panels in blue. I haven't decided how I'm going to do mine, but it'll be a long way off yet anyway. Just take your time though, there is a lot of detail on this model to pick out, especially all the gold trim. We've got loads of cables to pick out in red, detail on the bolter as well, purity seals here, there and everywhere. Yeah, you are going to have a lot of detail that needs to be picked out. Just take your time with it, and yeah, don't rush yourself is my best advice. If you rush yourself, there's a good chance you will do something wrong. Yeah, I'm thinking I may do a all-over gold base coat, and then using a blue contrast paint, apply that into most of the armor panels, just to give it a nice cool bluey gold effect to the armor. I'll see how that works on a test model first though, I think. Then we got a few tutorials. So we're painting up the Emperor's Blade using Abaddon Black, Uriel Yellow, Trollslayer Orange as well on the previous page, and Mephiston Red to get that flaming effect. And then we're even doing the white heat of the flame with the white scar there. Then we got 2 paint guides for the head. So the bare head option here, which I'm not too sure if I'm going to do that or go for the full helmeted head, which does look kind of better. As a lot of people have said, what I don't like is how they've done Tesseract Glow for the laurels. That is a little too bright. What I recommend is getting a nice mossy green, so any of the orc named paints. Personally, I'd go for Lauren Forest and then highlight with Ogren Camo. That would be a good one, and a little bit of a recessed shade with Aphonian Camo shade would be pretty good as well. But yeah, it also shows you how to paint the helmet version. I mean, there's not a lot of detail you're going to not be able to get to if you do attach the helmeted head, so it's up to you if you wanted to attach it or leave it separate. And then we have, of course, the base. So it does tell you to paint Astrogranite first, let that dry, then paint the entire base with Mechanica Standard Grey, so it all matches and blends in. Then we're painting Nuln Oil and then a bunch of dry brushes before picking out skulls and the metal details with Rancor Flesh and Lead Belcher respectively. Retributor armor for gun casings, and then we're starting to do a couple of washes again. Stormbringer silver to pick out all the silver and gold, and Powder Witch Flesh on the skulls. And then we have a Black Legion Chaos Space Marine to pick out, and we're painting him pretty much the same as how they've done in the premium kit. So Abaddon Black, picking out Retributor armor, gold, Rancor Flesh for horns, Lead Belcher for silver details, red for the eyes, then Rectum Flesh shade on the gold, Aggro shade for the horns, Nuln Oil everywhere else, picking out the edge highlights of the armor with Calgar blue, then Stormbringer silver on the gold and silver details, Pallid Witch Flesh, and finally Wild Rider red. Then another flame tutorial for painting the braziers, and then for your final assembly. Whew, that was a lot to go through. But yeah, he does look pretty good. I think I might be doing, like I said, my own method of tackling this guy. For my Black Legion, I do tend to paint the trim first and then tidy up around the trim with black afterwards. So I might do it similar to that. So yeah, we have his datasheet, of course. So he has plenty of rules, plenty of weapons, and stats so statted, they make a stat look less statedly. If a Brute Guilliman is your warlord, he has to have the Nobility Made Manifest warlord trait, as shown here. So friendly bikers and infantry can perform heroic interventions as if they were characters while within 6 inches. Oh wow, that's going to make the counter-offensive a lot more beneficial to the Space Marine side. You can only take Guilliman in a command detachment, so 75 power and 100 power missions only for him, containing 1 Lord of War, 3 command points, which will be Guilliman himself. And we have our final fight for the Dolmen Gate. So yeah, we use that little mat in the center here. And it is 100 power. This is the first time we are doing a 100 power battle. So we're probably going to end up using everything we have in the collection. But yeah, we are using all the mats, the bonus mat in the middle there. 6-inch deployment zones each side, and we've got plenty of rules, so they are going to take a while to read through that. And we got a relic above here, so yeah, this weapon profile is required in order to play through this issue's mission. Make sure you keep hold of this page and have it close by before playing this mission. So yeah, obviously there's a relic that we can give to one of the Imperium characters. Right, moving on to issue 81. Right, so this is our first Paragon Warsuit, and as you can see, there's not going to be much left over on the kit. We do, of course, have 3 weapon options, 2 power sword options, power sword or power maul. We have options for missiles or storm bolters on top, and 3 head options. Otherwise, pretty much everything is going to be used. Pretty chock block frame, nice models all over, and we have a 50mm round base for it as well there. So the magazine will tell you to build each one a specific way, but you are of course free to choose whichever weapon loadout you so see fit. The magazine even acknowledges this. But yeah, really fun, and I can't wait to put these girls together. So we have our issue. We got our battle record. So yes, the battle records are continuing for the extended issues. We got a story which continues from issue 78, I believe, which follows an Inquisitor and his acolyte as they delve into a cult of excess. We find out that the Emperor's children get involved. Pretty cool story. Haven't read it yet, but I've got, like I said, spare issues of 81 to read, so I can read that tonight or sometime. Build guide. So yeah, careful of fragile components. There's quite a few on the frame, but as I said, you have variant assemblies in various different positions. Sorry about that. I thought somebody called for me, but that wasn't. As I was saying, we have variant assemblies, so we've got 3 options of head, 2 bare, 1 helmeted. Choices of missiles or storm bolters, and choice of either heavy flamer or heavy bolter in exchange of the multi-melter. And variant assembly of either the power maul or the power blade, whichever you choose. And yes, we also have paint guides. So we're getting a paint guide for each individual model out of these Paragon Warsuits, so it's nicely detailed. Plenty of information given out here. So yeah, we're painting it much like the rest of our battle system models. So black all over, silver for a lot of the weapons and trim. Corn red on the inside robes, Mephiston red on the outside robes. Retributor armor on the gold detailings. Corax white for a lot of the white details. And we're putting on our usual shades. Getting a nice melted effect with cryptic armor shade gloss. So we can use this for the paint guide in issue 76 if you build your ATV with the multi-melter. So that's pretty handy. And yeah, you'll be left with your finished Paragon Warsuit like that. We get the battle record for it, but it is a minimum unit of 3 models, so we are going to have to wait 2 more issues before we can deploy these in battle. But we have pretty good stats, strength 5, tough 5, so these are going to make some really nasty opponents for the Necrons. 4 wounds each, 3 attacks for the Paragon and 4 for the Superior, 2+ save. Plus you have your Invuln save still for Max of Faith, you have your Sacred Rites abilities and Shield of Faith. So the good thing is we can finally make use of the Sacred Rite that allows us to do more damage in combat and stuff like that, so pretty cool. And because of the War Suit, we subtract 1 from damage rolls or damage characteristic of the opponent's attacks, which is pretty cool. So any number can have that Storm Bolter replaced with a grenade launcher, any number can have their Heavy Bolter replaced with a Flamer or Multi-Melter, and any number can have their War Blade replaced with a War Mace. And we have tutorials on the back of all the different weapons. And next we have Campaign 2, so we are actually getting a campaign which continues on from the end of Kalma's Skull. And we'll look at the fold-out section in a minute, but this is our first mission. 50 power, 2 battle mats, and we're just basically trying to vie for control of an asteroid belt. We got a campaign marker, which we'll use on the campaign fold-out, so we'll be having a look at that right now, actually. So, yeah, this is a campaign, it's a brand new mission pack, and it's really well done. So, we've got a little map here of the area where all of our events happen. We can then tick off or write down whether it's Necron or Imperium victories on each of these different worlds. So if you've got a couple of these issues, it's good to keep a blank copy of the photocopy. So yeah, much like all our previous missions, we have our battle sizes, mustering your armies, mission briefing, campaign rules, place objectives, create battlefield, secondary objectives, determine attacker defender, choose deployment zones, declare reserves and reinforcements, deploy your armies, first turn resolve, pre-battle abilities, begin, end, and victorious. So yeah, we use the marker for balance of power, which is a new thing to include in this campaign. So yeah, if we are so depending on whether it's Necron or Imperial Ascendancy, we get a bonus and a debuff sort of effect. So in Imperium Ascendancy, the Imperium once per game in the shooting phase, select a single unit. It can automatically reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1 for all its ranged attacks. On the Necron side, in the reserves pre-battle ability step, Necron player may select 1 unit and redeploy it. So it's a little bit of a buff to them. So if your opponent has, or if the Necron player luckily has that, and they want to put a unit in a different position to take advantage of its guns or something against a particular enemy unit, then they can easily reposition. And yeah, on the belt we got a table chart for rewards. So once per battle, if you control a location, you get a specific bonus, which is pretty cool. So yeah, really fun. I'm hoping to do something a little more special once we get to the end, get to the campaign, but we still have quite a few regular issues to go through. All right then, last issue, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on the delivery as a whole. So we got another 50mm base, and we got our second war suit, and yeah, we got that lovely relic sword for the Superior there. So we won't be using that on this particular one, we'll be using the mace, I believe. But yeah, really cool. Loads of detail. Alright then, let's take a look in the issue. So, second war suit, new battle sister story, and the campaign continues. So we got Obelisk and Lyrak Phase 3. We learn all about the different Eldari craft worlds. So we got all the different particular individual craft worlds. So Iandon, my personal favourite. Leitok, Ulfwe, Baeltan, and Samhan. Then we got War of Faith. So this looks interesting. So we have Battle Sisters fighting off against Heretic Astartes of the Word Bearers. So that's going to be really cool. And I think it's a nice long story as well. So we've got 2, 3, 4 pages. That's only a medium-sized story. But yeah, pretty cool. That looks really grisly. Nice detail. And yeah, build guide, how to build our second Paragon Warsuit. So this one says to build the Stormbolt, the Heavy Bolter. But you can, of course, build Heavy Flamer or Multi-Melter. And we're building it with the Stormbolters. Well, building this one specifically with the Missile Rack. But you can also build it with the Stormbolters. When I build my own, I'm going to have a more anti-infantry focused art unit, so Stormbolters, Heavy Bolters, and Warblades. A anti-armor unit, so the Multi-Melter, Missiles, and the Maces. And then I'm going to have a unit which is a bit of a mix with the Heavy Flamers, some Stormbolters, some Missiles, and some Warblades, some War Maces. So again, we got the paint guide, and like I said, this is individual to each of the individual warsuits, so just follow them along and you will get some really nice end results. So we're picking out a lot of the trim detail. So this is a pretty good thing they're doing here. So they're painting the eyes and the icon first before painting the white around it. Really smart way of doing it, because it means you can be as messy as you want for the fiddly detail. And then for the larger area detail, such as the white armor plate there, you can just cover over all your mistakes, which is pretty cool. So yeah, like I said, each one is really nicely detailed, and all these paint guides are very handy. And yeah, there's your final gallery for your second model. Next, then, we have the Battle for Tragus. So this is another world within the Ramesses system. So the Imperium are searching for Xenotech, and Necrons are trying to recover a wreckage of previous wars. So 75 power and all the battle mats. So similar to another mission we had not too long ago. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, long edge, 10-inch deployment zone each side. And we've got the salvage action. So either player's army can do this action. At the end of that movement phase, within range of objective marker, and no enemy units within range. This action completed in the next command phase, as long as they are performing this action still within range of the same objective marker. Each player may perform this objective a maximum of 2 times on each objective marker. So that's pretty interesting. But there we have it. That is it. And our next delivery, so we get our Paragon Superior there with Heavy Flamer and the Ornate Warblade. And then we have the Skitarii Marshal coming in 84. Right then, I'll just bring everything back in and I'll give you my final thoughts for delivery 21. So there we have delivery 21 of Imperium, and it's a pretty jam-packed delivery. So we get Rabute Gilliman finishing off our Ultramarines force until we get around to that Redemptor Dreadnought. And we start our extension. So we get issues 81 and 82 with the Paragon Warsuits. And they are some really nice models. I can't wait to get around to building mine for the collection. Some really great lore, a really in-detail paint guide for painting Gilliman, though some of it is questionable about how it's done, so I'm not probably going to follow it myself. I'm going to do Gilliman my way. And yeah, the Paragon Warsuits are really nice. It's great that we're building up one at a time, and the issue is dedicating itself to both the build and paint guide for that one model. So I really think they've learnt from the early part of the subscription, and they're doing everything really well for the final 10 issues. The campaign looks great. From what I've been reading, it's really thought out well. It's nice that it gives us a wide variety of battlefields. We get to introduce our new units once we build them up and collect them. And yeah, it's nice to actually have all our games tie in together and have a overall effect to a campaign system, which is nice. So really looking forward to playing the campaign, and really looking forward to building these Paragon war suits. I'm going to probably mess around with one of mine for my personal collection first, just so I can figure out any particular fiddly details when building it. And it does at least warn you about the fragile components. There's even a fair few on Gilliman himself, so just be careful. Luckily there's not too many connection points on Gilliman, so he can easily come away pretty quick. But yeah, there we have it. That is issue 21, and it's a solid 5 out of 5, I think, for this particular delivery. Some great new models, great new lore, and that campaign system is just the chef's kiss. Mwah. Perfect. So, there we have it. Thank you very much for watching. If you think I deserve it, please give this video a like, and if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel for more future Mad content. As I said at the beginning, I have my Stormbringer collection first delivery, so I'll be having issues 5 and 6 coming soon, and I still have plenty more Imperium videos left to film and upload, so there will be plenty of content still to come. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.